regulatory reason that Bitcoin needs to do nothing, which is in a way is a bit more transparent than trying to shoehorn it into doing something. But that's where I think the model came from. I do think that I think it undermines the value of a competing system to the Federal Reserve. I think if the Treasury was accumulating Bitcoin, it would have real pressure on, over time, gradually implementing a restructuring of the dollar as a reserve, as a hedge, in case the Federal Reserve System becomes, destructive. And so by now changing that to, there's a difference between a store of value and an investment. A store of value is asset classes that don't really change, that are not connected to any founder or anything like that, that have stood the test of time. And while Bitcoin has got into the store of value, it's only had 16 years, so it's more of a speculative store of value than the 5,000 years of gold. But I do think Bitcoin sits in that category, and confusing it with almost like a sovereign wealth fund where you strategically invest in XRP because you want Ripple to be an American first company and you want Solana to not have any of its foundation offshore. So therefore you try and incentivize it in order to, create jobs and build the American crypto ecosystem.
Hold up, guys. Finishing this Twitter space right now.
Reform of the monetary system, strengthen the dollar in a moment when fiat currency is, called under question. And the other is, supporting American industry in a sovereign wealth fund in order to try and support crypto innovation. And if that still might be the way that this is structured. This is just the executive orders, and there's a team of people that are all going to decide. But it looks like America's going to try and do both. I just prefer to watch the El Salvador strategy represent kind of the outperformance of Bitcoin dominance versus America going for the crypto industry and making a bet over whether Bitcoin dominance is going to decrease over time to outperform the stockpile. We shall see.
I think there's a decent amount of mental gymnastics going on there, trying to create these differentiations between XRP and Bitcoin. But
Mickle, they are different. It's completely disingenuous to say that a token connected to a company.
It's not connected to a company.
Of course it's connected. If you're trying to say XRP has no connection to Ripple Labs, then you're that's very misleading. Yeah, what percentage of XRP is on? Come on, like let's not try that.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, Danish. It's like saying big bet. Like, go ahead. No, it's like saying Bitcoin. Like I have my opinions about Michael Saylor, but I don't say that Bitcoin or Michael Saylor is connected to Bitcoin, right? They are separate. Bitcoin is different, and Michael Saylor.
Did MicroStrategy create Bitcoin?
Well, Ripple didn't create XRP.
Yes, it did.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did. The XRP ledger is the same team, and the Ripple Labs, the company, was designed in order, and then they transferred the tokens over. If you're telling me that the team behind Ripple Labs, team behind XRP,
I gotta get you guys in this Twitter space. Hold up. Sorry.
Were you there when they were created? It's the same people. It's Jeff Caleb, it's Brad Garlinghouse, it's the other people that are around there. It's very disingenuous saying that XRP was created by the same people as were you there when they were created? It's the same people. It's Jeff Caleb, it's Brad Garlinghouse, it's the other people that are around there. It's very disingenuous saying that XRP was not created by the same people as that created Ripple Labs. And that is very
different. But it's important to have like what is the order of it? Simon, it's very important to have like the order of it, which is like you have the people behind, right? Like what later was Ripple or is Ripple, and the creator of the protocol. And then who is also the issuer of the token, right? That's very, very important to say, because you cannot say
an independent team called XRP just decided.
Can you guys hear?
Give Ripple Labs, the company, 60% of the tokens, just because they want to work on a joint venture, because they strategically decided that these two independent teams
would try and do something together. It's just not reality. They were created.
Well, there is a reality. The reality for Ripple is when you have a pre-mined token and you don't have mining, because mining is arguably the best way to distribute a token, right? It's very easy. You don't need to bother about how you're going to distribute a token. Mining does it for you. You know, anyone can participate, and probability will just distribute that, depending on how much work you put in. Essentially, proof of work. If you have a pre-mined token, then you have the challenge of you need to distribute it, right? You need to distribute a token. And
now who's
for
doing
that reason,
mental gymnastics?
no, for that reason, they decided to have put it into a company, the founders gifted it to
Are they different
Ripple.
people? They weren't working together on that construct.
They're different entities. One is a company,
But
right, and
but
other
that
is like the individuals.
So is
but
Trump's
like if
flying
so, hold
trucks?
on. If I start 1 second, if I start, you know, like if you start a small business, sometimes people will just work off of cash or they'll start working on things.
Mhm.
But then ultimately you form an LLC. That doesn't make it different people. It's still me with my company, right? So like it's okay if it's the same people. I don't know why this is such a big deal. The point
Well,
that I'm
because
trying to make
yeah,
is who cares? Ripple is an American company. We want to support American companies. XRP has performed incredibly well recently. And but I will again go back and say, Mickle, I disagree completely that the purpose of XRP to me is to innovate the entire financial industry. The value, the purpose of Bitcoin is to have a decentralized store of value. There are two different, because it's not a decentralized store of value. That's why I asked about Trump coin, because 80% is owned by Trump. So the point that I'm making is there is a difference in purpose, and that's okay. What's wrong with that?
but
I
hold
don't
on,
No,
understand why it's
Danish.
so
and
wrong.
Donish, I totally see what you're saying. I think the point I'm trying to make here is like I've been in crypto long enough where the store of value argument for Bitcoin wasn't even a thing. Back then it was completely different. So like I totally understand what you're saying. I'm just saying it's an artificial narrative created by people for the token, and you can assign that store of value narrative to anything. It's just the fact that they see it as a very strong monetary system because of there's no inflation. So like Bitcoin started off as peer-to-peer payments, and now it's this store of value. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just trying to point out this idea that that's what it is. It's just the narrative of the current moment. Like it's changed over time, and it might continue to change. Who knows? I'm just pointing out that this store of value narrative. What are you looking at in terms of the principle for what makes it a store of value? Is it the fact that it's anti-inflationary? Is it the fact that it's decentralized? Like those things you can apply just as well to XRP. So that's what I'm trying to point out. I'm not trying to say that right now the narrative for Bitcoin isn't that store of value.
But Mickle, technically, it's decentralized XRP, but a large majority of XRP is owned by a company. You were mentioning Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor owns like 2% of Bitcoin. That is not centralization in any way. And so I do
But is
want to,
token holding centralization, Danish? That's the question, and the answer is actually no, right? Because the token holding doesn't give you power over the network, does it?
It gives you a significant amount of power over the price when you decide to sell it.
But
And
this
so
has nothing to do with the network
but
decentralization,
Simon,
or no?
some of the early holders of or holders of Bitcoin, you could say the same thing about
but
Satoshi.
they
You could say
didn't
the
get
same
it
thing
for
about
free. Nobody got Bitcoin for free. They had to buy it and they had to prove
yeah,
their
but that
work.
but that's again mental gymnastics.
It's
I'll,
not
I'll
mental
call out all
gymnastics.
mental
If you get
gymnastics.
60% of the supply for free, don't you think that's different to having purchased 2% of the supply? We can't
It
put
was
If
those
you
80%.
two in the same conversation.
if you purchase, that's different about Michael Saylor because he purchased 2% of supply at a higher price. But a bunch of people that got in on Bitcoin early got it at par value. So I don't know. It's not
No,
that
they
different.
did.
I mean,
They executed proof of work and they expended electricity and they fired up a laptop or they did GPU or they run ASICs and
yeah,
ran
at
a
a
mining
very,
farm.
very small level. Simon, come on. We're talking about cents at that time, right? So it's a little bit different. So again, the point that I'm making is
But
that
it
to
doesn't
me
matter
is
because
not.
Satoshi's likely dead anyway. But he did mine them fairly.
So if Ripple Labs fails, then suddenly XRP is considered a decentralized store
No.
of
Ripple
value.
Labs were
Come
given
on.
the tokens for free. They exerted no work. They just created a pre-mine and handed
So
it just like Trump did.
so going back to the concept of sorry, Infra, go ahead. You've had your hand up for a while. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I was just going to say that if you believe that at the end of the day, Bitcoin, um, does well no matter what. If you believe deficits are not going to be addressed, if you believe that Trump is going to strong arm the Fed to bring rates down and inflation is going to come back and they're going to print money, Bitcoin does well. If you believe that they're going to buy Bitcoin, then Bitcoin does well. Like at the end of the day, it's kind of, I don't know, it seems like both sides are kind of missing the bigger picture.
Love it. I was gonna say that the digital asset stockpile is a thing. It was in. I'm getting a bunch of people are saying I'm spreading FUD by talking about a digital asset stockpile. This is the problem with some of the Bitcoin community. I have to say, I'm literally just telling you that there was an executive order that said that they want to form a committee to talk about a digital asset stockpile. I'm not saying that it's not going to include Bitcoin. That is not what I'm saying. And so people, and I'm not like Mickle or Vet that's like been all deep in the XRP community, and I'm not like Simon that's been all deep in the Bitcoin community. I'm a TradFi guy trying to navigate my way through this, guys. So like this is the beauty of growing up and being being in the real world instead of just living in the Twitter world. People are trying to navigate it, and so am I. I think it's so interesting to hear that called FUD. How is that FUD? That is not FUD. That is literally just saying what is happening.
And how is that fun when you have essentially now an administration that is embracing the whole industry, right? Like not picking winners and losers. Like I was the most I was disappointed by reading from Bitcoiners who love independency and love like the cypherpunk ethos is like going to the government now and saying, hey, you should not pick those, you should go after them, only pick those. Is like very counterintuitive to the actual ethos, which is, hey, let's have a level playing field, and the market is going to decide. If you are very much passionate about Bitcoin and it's amazing because Revolutionary was the first digital decentralized money, then you're comfortable, right? There's nothing to fear. Why are people now panicking? I have no idea. Or even calling it like FUD when you.
Sorry, guys. I know the volume was a little whack there. I had a pretty crazy setup. I had like X going through my phone, and then I was worried that wouldn't work out on the other side in terms of speaking, so I pulled it through there. Just wanted to be able to quickly finish up that conversation. If audio was coming through weird there for you, I definitely apologize. There's really not a good way to be able to live stream a Twitter space. I'm not sure anyone has really tried that before, so no, I was just, there was some XRP talk. I wanted to make sure I could rep the community. It's always nice when I have Vet having my back and can jump up there. Yeah, the biggest thing we're just watching right now is just this Bitcoin maxi kind of meltdown about the idea that other cryptocurrencies are likely going to succeed into the future as well. The big news is, and I think we'll know very soon if it's true, if XRP is going to be included in this strategic reserve. In my opinion, something that I likely think is probably what's going to take place now that I think about it more and more is I think it's very probable that Ripple cut Trump a deal to be able to purchase XRP for the strategic reserve directly from the escrow. We'll see if that theory plays out. It's nothing more than a theory, but that's what I interpret what's going on here. It just seems to me like there's something going on here. And for me, that big moment was when we had a couple people like Michael Saylor start talking about a crypto reserve. And a couple other people coming out and saying it wasn't good politically to be Bitcoin only. It just seems like the strategic crypto reserve is kind of embedded. And if it's not going to be Bitcoin only, I don't see how it couldn't be XRP. It just seems like the writing's already on the wall. But it is funny to watch the meltdown because we are watching a full-on freak out all over X of Bitcoin maxis. Really, really, really not handling this news well. Oh, Taylor, that's awesome. That's a great, great comment. I wish I could read that word. I'm just not even going to attempt to try to say that. Yeah, I don't think Ripple's the largest American cryptocurrency company right now, technically, but I think they will be upon IPO. Oh my God. I'm getting so many comments from Bitcoin maxis right now. This guy who's really one of the people who started it, is actually the CEO of Riot, I think. So I tweeted out his stock and he didn't even have an answer. I said, I think his name is Pere. I said, this is Bitcoin Pere's stock, the guy trying to protect you from XRP. Clearly his stock is just trending towards zero. And he said, now do Bitcoin. I pulled the stat right now, but it's almost too much work and a waste of my time because I'll just pull up the XRP to Bitcoin price chart. I think I'll win that one just by not answering. He seems pretty down bad about the stock. Okay, so this is interesting. So this is a bit of a black swan scenario for MicroStrategy. I'm not sure, I think this is just breaking news now, but there's a bit of a crazy black swan sort of thing in the process for MicroStrategy. Yeah, apparently there's going to be some announcement at 10 a.m. I think it might be this reserve that everyone's speculating about. And I kind of just want to get the Band-Aid ripped off. Like, to a certain degree, I don't even care that much. At this point, obviously I would love if XRP was in it, but at this point I just want to know, because I either want this entire speculative thing to be over and just for us to have the answer, and Bitcoin maxis either get to celebrate because XRP is not in it, or they get to have a absolute public breakdown. Like, I just want to know the answer at this point, and I think we're close to getting it. All right, cool. We got a couple important things we have to jump on here. Okay, so here's the MicroStrategy thing. We'll talk about this real quick. So what we have is MicroStrategy suddenly has a tax problem. So after raising money through stock and debt offerings to buy Bitcoin, MicroStrategy owns a stash worth $47 billion, which includes $18 billion of unrealized gains. An unusual twist, it could have to pay federal income tax on those paper gains, even if it never sold a single Bitcoin. The tax could total billions of dollars starting next year, according to a new disclosure this month that MicroStrategy put out that has received very little attention. So MicroStrategy could own a whole bunch of taxes on unrealized capital gains for their Bitcoin purchase. Now, I was kind of reading that and I was like, why though? Like, it has nothing to do with me disliking Bitcoin at all when it comes down to this. I don't really understand why that would happen. But it looks like we do have an answer here, and I haven't read it yet, so I'm curious to kind of go through this with you. It looks like a tax company actually responded, and they said, hey, Scott, it's due to the corporate alternative maximum tax. And that was introduced under the Inflation Reduction Act passed in 2022. Complex calcs, but could lead to an ATM of 15%. There are exceptions granted by the IRS, such as given to Berkshire Hathaway, so it doesn't have to pay taxes on unrealized capital gains for common stock. No exemptions exist for crypto yet, but even the Wall Street Journal thinks it's likely that we could see that exemption under the Trump administration. So that's a great little synopsis. It looks like there are exceptions that could be put in place for something like this. Personally, I think it's highly likely that MicroStrategy would get that exemption and not have to pay those unrealized capital gains taxes. I'm not the biggest fan of Michael Saylor, not the biggest fan of MicroStrategy's strategy, but I don't think they should have to pay on unrealized capital gains, right? Like, it's one of the things I always say. I don't need government intervention to try to break these things. I'd rather just have the market win, and I don't really personally think MicroStrategy should be forced to pay taxes, income taxes on those unrealized capital gains. Here's another thing, Stuart Alderati commenting under David Sachs. So David Sachs put, hey guys, make sure to go like this also. Make sure to go drop a like on this. So David Sachs makes sure to see this. David Sachs tweeted out something to do with SAB 121. And Stuart Alderati said, double click on that. Now let's dismiss these baseless cases with no fraud, no victim, just a political agenda to cripple the U.S. crypto industry. They're a massive waste of government time and resources. So let's make sure that goes viral to make sure David Sachs sees that. Not that I don't think David Sachs doesn't know, but a little outside pressure certainly wouldn't help or wouldn't hurt either. Let's take a look at net inflows and outflows into XRP, because I think we're seeing a very large amount of outflows right now from XRP without the price really being affected. So let's take a quick look at that. We'll go over the last couple hours. Yeah, no, not as many as I was thinking. We definitely do have probably more net outflows over the last couple days than inflows, but the price is holding up remarkably well. So, I mean, that's a great sign. I think the mark is just waiting to find out if XRP is in the strategic reserve. If it is, I mean, man, oh man, that is going to start a craze. I mean, XRP would instantly be on a massive, massive scale that it wasn't on before. It's crazy. I used to think the most bullish thing for XRP was like a Ripple IPO, an XRP ETF, or some kind of institutional partnership. Now it's like, now we're talking about getting a strategic reserve by the United States government. I mean, if you asked me 3 years ago if we would have a strategic reserve for XRP, I would have said no way. Fox News is discussing crypto. Let me see if I can get that up quick. Let me see if I can get that up quick.
Fallen into believing that, yes, a lot of bad actors use crypto to move money around. There's like bad things happening with it. And then the guy, Chris John,
sorry for the volume.
Actually, people use bad things with dollars too. I am just going to have to trust that they know what they're doing. I have a feeling everyone will get rich but me on crypto because I don't get it.
I feel the same way, Dana, but I do know that it's important, and we don't want other countries to beat us on crypto, on AI, and I think that's why Donald Trump is focused.
I think of those two things as separate, and I actually really am very interested in this whole piece about the surge of energy that these companies need. It's not just the crypto companies, though. They take a lot of electricity and energy.
Right.
If we are going to win, or even like pull even with the AI race, we have to have a lot more energy. And the emergency might be the only way to do it, because the environmentalists, they'll try to block you at every turn.
So one of the things that has impressed me is all these smart people are in the White House, and they're talking about these policies. You had David Sachs the other day with President Trump signing these executive orders to Swatch.
He's directed our working group to produce a regulatory framework that's going to encourage innovation in crypto in the United States, keeping the industry onshore rather than driving it offshore, which is what was happening under the Biden administration. We want that innovation happening here in the United States, and I think it now will happen in the United States because President Trump has declared that the U.S. must be the crypto capital of the world.
So, and that's one of the leading minds who co-created PayPal. So he's there, David Sachs, basically working for free, putting together this panel. He says, we're behind, but we can take it over again. He says also, we do not want a central bank, the creation of a central bank for digital currencies. That shouldn't be the case. I like the fact that he's on the inside, not the outside.
Well, you want all of this energy working for you, not against you.
Right.
And it's pretty interesting. I was thinking this morning on my way here, how history will look back at this moment. So the country was at a crossroads, and it decided to take a different path. Imagine if we were on the other path still, and you might see a continuation of the decline. But the acceptance and the embrace of technology, especially AI, it's an interesting moment. There's a lot of fear that's wrapped into it. I know somebody who's already lost a white-collar job to AI. They just got laid off, and so the world is going to change. We have to anticipate all of that.
Right, and sitting out, and the Biden approach was, we're going to pick the companies that we want and put guide rails on them. Yeah. These guys say, no guide rails, we're going to be responsible, and they're all in on it. So I just hope they act ethically, because it'll never happen again.
That's right. Dana, you got a big show coming up on America.
We do. Bernie Moreno is the new senator from Ohio. He's going to join us. Also excited to have Keith Kellogg.
Cool. Always appreciate you guys. Like, if anyone's talking on any of these news stations and it's like interesting, like, always appreciate you guys shooting me a little note being like, hey, Mickle, go check this out. Like, they're talking about this. All right, 1 second. I kind of, in the process of saying that, I kind of blew up my my setup here on the back end. Whoops. Guys, quick shout out to XP Market, sponsor of the live streams. They actually just dropped a brand new thing where if you get the season's pass, you actually get Xanum Unlimited. So if you are a Xanum user, if you already are kind of operating in that wallet, in that ecosystem, and you're looking for a way to kind of get a nice little bang for your buck, you can actually get the season's pass on XP Market. and you will also automatically get Xanum Pro. So I thought that was a little cool, neat little twist. If you're already using Xanum Pro or paying for that, you could also go through this and get this free XP Market Season Pass and earn some cryptocurrency in the process. So just wanted to bring that to people's attentions quick. Take a quick look at the token rankings. Looks like it's generally a red day for the XRP market. A lot of these projects are still very, very small in the grand scheme of things. Still really building out that deeper level ecosystem for XRP. But man, it is so nice just to see so many more people working on the XRP ledger. And it looks like TVL is back up to 62 million. So great to see that TVL ripping. Make sure if you are a Xanum Pro user, you check out the opportunity to purchase that through XP Market and get that season's pass. 99% of coins are a store of value. I think it's so funny that Bitcoin maxis like ride on this store of value thing after Bitcoin essentially failed to be the payment system it was meant to be. It's like, well, it's not going to work for payments, so what else can we call it? Oh, let's call it a store of value. Bitcoin, if Bitcoin's not going to work on the if Bitcoin's not going to work on the payment side, we'll just relabel it as a store of value. Bitcoin was supposed to be reliable. Bitcoin was supposed to be as reliable as XRP. Yeah, and you know that's why I think you really see a lot of emotion from the Bitcoin maxis on all of this. I think it's just that underlying realization that Bitcoin really is, I mean, XRP really is doing all these things that Bitcoin was meant to do. And I think that's the hardest part for most of these people. Guys, make sure to take a quick second, smash a like on the stream. Make this the most popular live stream on YouTube and X right now in regards to cryptocurrency. That way Bitcoin maxis can kind of have that title thrown right in their face. I would love to get a couple of them in here. It looks like most of them aren't really interested. I was hoping if I made this a title, you'd see a whole bunch of Bitcoiners jumping in here talking trash about XRP. It doesn't look like that really succeeded. It looks like they would probably prefer rather to hide and send their tweets, but I was really hoping we'd get something like that. And you're seeing a flippening too. Take a look at this. This is Joe. He's a Bitcoin maxi. Big fan of Joe. I mean, he has great analysis, I believe, of the market and a lot of things in general. He's not an XRP guy. He actually says a lot of things about XRP that I think are completely wrong. But just take a look at these two posts by Joe, and like you can see the narrative shifting hard. Like there's always going to be that loud group of maxis that is really down bad about everything happening. But he said altcoins aren't going away, and I'm not sure why so many people struggle with this. Joe also said after today, the surge in XRP over the past few months actually makes a lot more sense. So you do see, I believe, a pretty big shift in Bitcoiners starting to see the light. And I think it's a great sign, in my opinion, in kind of proving that we have been on the right path. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, mods, don't block anyone for talking about Bitcoin. No, we want the Bitcoiners in here. We want the Bitcoiners in here. No, we definitely want the Bitcoiners in here. I want all the pushback I can get on XRP, right? I love it. No, that doesn't bother me at all. No, Werner, I apologize for that, man. Just a miscue. I don't want anyone I don't want anyone blocked from commenting on the channel unless they're being outright unless they're being malicious in any kind of way, unless they're like spamming or any kind of way. But no. I definitely don't want anyone blocked who's pro Bitcoin or providing pushback. I love that. So no, apologize for that. No, I'd never want that to happen. It's a little difficult sometimes, right? Because I think sometimes people come in a little hot and it comes out, it's taken the wrong way. So that's on me, but oh no, Werner, no. And look, yeah, and we love those. Like I personally love those opinions, right? One of the things I always tell people is like, I'm not looking to go convince anyone that like XRP is better than Bitcoin or anything like that. I just want to let people know what the facts are about XRP rather than believing what I believe is a lot of incorrect information that's spread, and then people can make their own decisions. It's never about like, hey, Mickle likes XRP, so you have to love XRP, right? Like personally, I think XRP is the future, but it doesn't mean we can't have a civil conversation about where we think each other fall out of line. But no, you're always welcome, and yeah, no, that's actually a great note because I'll make sure to be clear with the mods moving forward that we definitely want Bitcoiners in these chats. We want Bitcoiners in these spaces. We want to be able to talk with Bitcoiners, and we just want civil discourse between the communities because I think the more we work together, the more we can really figure out how to line up XRP for mass adoption, line up Bitcoin for mass adoption, and make this entire industry go parabolic. No, no, Wormer. Thank you. No, I appreciate your understanding there. Fire Dog said, crazy part of all of it, we didn't even get a price pump for Bitcoin maxis to be outraged. Literally just mad because their internal thoughts are blowing up on the. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing. I mean, it is a little ridiculous to see the outrage over XRP and other cryptocurrencies being included. You know, I just don't think it's a great look. It's one thing to be disappointed, but for them to be coming out and actively saying things like it's either just the Bitcoin reserve or nothing. Like that's like it's either Bitcoin or everything else has to go to zero. Personally, I just think they're scared because for the longest time it was like the argument of just XRP was a nothing burger, like really lived on. Like it was very easy to say, oh, well, just ignore this XRP thing. There's nothing to see there. And it was very easy to kind of push that narrative. And I think it's just becoming very hard to just discredit XRP like it used to be discredited. If you see XRP in the strategic reserve, I mean, XRP is going to be extremely mainstream, and it's really going to put to bed a lot of these false narratives that have been pushed around for a very long time. No, I'm sure he knows who he's talking to, Fire Dog. I just don't think these, and that's the other thing, funny thing about some of these early Bitcoiners, like, or some of these Bitcoin maxis, a lot of them came around in like 2016, 2017. Like, these people are brand new to Bitcoin. Like, they're not even OGs. Like it's so funny to me that to see them arguing with actual Bitcoin OGs and telling them they don't understand Bitcoin. Like, these Bitcoiners who came around in like 2020 talking about, oh, like Bitcoin's all this stuff, and then arguing with actual Bitcoin OGs. Oh, Taylor, I'm glad you enjoyed that, man. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Crypto Clay said, in Mickle we trust while the others are napping. Thank you, Mickle Mafia, for joining on this ride. Thank you, Mickle. Crypto Clay, thank you so much, man. You're an OG here. We appreciate you so much, and thank you so much for that donation. No, it is funny though to see just the lack of understanding of some of these new Bitcoin people, not the OG Bitcoin people, but the new Bitcoin people. Here's a DAI tweet that I think is pretty good. Delkus, you can't add XRP to the strategic reserve. Trump admin, why not? Delkus says its ownership is centralized and it's a S-coin. Trump administration. Who are the Ethereum disguised whales and who owns that supply? Delkus, no answer. Trump administration. Do you know who the 4 Satoshis are and their Bitcoin ownership? Could it be China? Delkus, no answer. That's the ironic thing about all of this. All of these cryptocurrencies were created by someone. All of these cryptocurrencies existed because someone coded it up. It's like the only difference is Ripple's transparent about it and some people choose to hide. Oh yeah, a lot of different chats going on right now. So I'm reading from all the different chats. It seems like at 10 a.m. we're going to get something today. Okay, this is a very interesting post. We're about to go over. Someone said thoughts on XCN. I have no idea what XCN is. I appreciate the donation. I can take a look. Hi from the UK. Did you say there was news coming out at 10 a.m.? We have a tweet from Cynthia Loomis that there's going to be news. We have no idea if it's going to be crypto or not. She's pretty big on the Bitcoin side of things, so I wouldn't be surprised. Now, this is very interesting. Okay. So Scott Melker was one of the people who said, essentially, XRP's probably going to be part of the strategic reserve. Take a look at this post. He said, I rarely post rumors unless the sources are reliable and I hear it from multiple places. It will take a long time to see how all this shakes out, but I can assure you that XRP is currently a major part of the conversation. Wow. Just gonna comment, please say more. Wow, that's crazy. And he doesn't, Scott doesn't own any XRP. At least the last time I checked, he doesn't own XRP. So these are the kinds of rumors I'm talking about, right? You heard Mark Yusko the other day, someone else who's very connected, saying, oh, well, it seems like XRP might be being used as this new banking intermediary platform. XCN is a JP Morgan coin that imitates XRP. Yeah, I have no interest in it then. Wolf of Wall Street said, I rarely post rumors unless they're true and reliable and hear it from multiple places. It will take a long time to see how it shakes out, but I can assure you that XRP is currently a major part of the conversation. Dennis, thank you so much. Loomis was waving a bill the night of the inauguration saying an agreement was in sight. Is that specifically for the strategic reserve? Why 10 a.m.? That's just when Cynthia Loomis said there was going to be some kind of announcement. She said to look out for an announcement. I hope Scott answers. I said, please say more. I want to know more. I need to know what he's talking about. What has he heard? What do we know? What's going on with XRP that we don't know? Two others to look at, Block V and SHX. I know SHX. I think it's kind of interesting, but not overly, I don't know. Let me see this XCN coin. I'm not going to lie, guys. Oh, it's Onyx coin? Is this even real? Kind of ripping. Are we sure this is actually JP Morgan's project? I know JP Morgan has an Onyx coin, but I think it's a private blockchain. Maybe they have a public one too? I don't know. Little suspect on that, not gonna lie. 10 a.m. news was yesterday. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for clearing that up. That's my bad. XCN is the old chain. Yeah, I don't know much about this XCN thing. No, Death Ranger, thank you for stopping by, man. Really appreciate that. Colin just shot me a message. Let me see if I can pull that up, Colin. I just don't know much about it, man. You know, with the XRP strategic reserve being a thing, it's hard for me to pay attention to every single thing moving around just because, like, okay, I will watch that, Colin. I don't want to play that on the live stream just because it looks like there's some accusations being made there, and I just haven't done enough research to be throwing out accusations on XCN or something like that. Maybe it's not accusations. I know Justin Sun is saying some things. I am going to stay out of this until I do a bit of my own research here, but definitely appreciate people bringing that to my attention. I want to know more about what Scott Melker knows about XRP. Oh, Taylor, your comments are awesome. Oh, Taylor, I love that. That is such gold. That is such gold. Man, it's just crazy. It is crazy how bullish this is, and to see XRP just still consolidating. Like XRP is like, all right, we'll wait until the real thing. Man, I am just searching for anything I can find with more information on this. Doesn't look like I'm going to get it, though, unfortunately. We'll see what plays out. Man, this is crazy, guys. This is 10 times, 15 times, 25 times more bullish than I ever thought things would be at this point. Let's see if we got anything else here that needs to be talked about. There's a lot going on, man. I am feeling so good about the strategic reserve. So good about this XRP strategic reserve now. It's just coming from so many different places. It's incredible. It's like it's already set. It's like it's already set. I'll put my speculation out there one more time. One last time. I think we will probably see Ripple sell XRP from the escrow to the US Treasury. And I think a lot of people No, I'm not going to press him on it, Roger. I know what you're saying, but look, man, that ain't what this is about. If Scott hears something, I can wait patiently and see what it is. We already know what it is realistically. I don't need to hear it from Scott. Scott's not going to tell me. Scott's not going to tell me who he's talking to. Oh, my bad, Taylor. That was you, not Roger. Scott's not going to tell me who he's talking to. I just want to get on Scott's show and shill XRP. I don't know when he's going to let that happen. I always tweet at him. I'm like, hey, when we talking XRP, he never answers. Roger catching my strays. That's so funny. It's because I'm on my screen. On my screen, you guys have a very similar little profile picture. One's a T and one's an R in pink. And sometimes when I just glance quickly, I get it wrong. I agree. Ripple advertising is beyond Washington, and they have the big wigs and the billionaires. And it's been where all the big wigs and the billionaires are. World is our playground, XRP army. No, I completely agree. How much? I don't know if there is a 10 a.m. announcement. People are saying that I got that wrong. People are saying that the 10 a.m. announcement was yesterday. So I don't know. I thought I saw Cynthia Loomis say that there was a 10 a.m. announcement today. I could have missed the date on that. I don't normally miss. But a lot of people are saying I got the 10 a.m. thing wrong. So we'll see. There might not be. It might have been yesterday. I might have just misread when that was posted. Take a look at this from Stuart Alderati. Dennis, thank you so much. I have said they can't sell escrow without selling the whole thing. Escrow is a huge asset. Selling it alone would lower the value of Ripple. Well, they can sell part of the escrow. I mean, if they just said, hey, 5 billion XRP for the strategic reserve, they can do that. I don't see why they couldn't. So guys, take a look at this from the executive order. This is from Stuart Alderati. President Trump will make the United States the center of digital. Hold on. President Trump will make the United States the center of digital financial technology innovation by halting aggressive enforcement actions and regulatory overreach that have stifled crypto innovation under the previous administration. To me, that sounds like the Ripple SEC case is all but over. Guys, thank you so much for coming. You guys are all incredible. We'll see what happens later today. We'll see what happens over the weekend. To me, it just seems like there's something much bigger than even I have talked about going on with XRP right now. It just seems to me like there is something very, very big going on behind the scenes. And that's why you see this massive, massive explosion in people talking about XRP. Real quick, Felix said, but XRP becoming a reserve wouldn't actually impact the price much, right? Of course it would. Are you kidding me? Do you know how much validation it would be if the United States becoming an XRP whale? It would be insanely bullish for the price. Yeah, do huge things. All right, guys, with that said, thank you so much. And for now,